Hey, what's going on everybody? Commander Crane here, and we're back with another video, and today we're going to be talking about the brand new Magic Foundations spoilers. There's a whole bunch of cards that were shown off. I believe it wasn't a play booster, it was like a theme booster, and there's definitely some very notable cards that are going to be returning in Magic Foundations. We've got a couple of new cards we're going to talk about, some new to standard reprints, as well as some new reprints for Pioneer. I'm very excited to share all these cards with you today, but before we hop into it here, just letting everybody know, not every single card that was spoiled is going to be in this video. It's just going to be all of the notable cards. So like there's like some random, like draft commons that if you want to check those out, it's going to be in the link in the description below. So once again, a couple things we're going to go over. The first thing we're going to start with is some of the two brand new notable cards. Then we're going to talk about some new to standard reprints, and then we're going to talk about the new to Pioneer and technically also standard reprints as well. So let's go ahead and start with the new cards here, which honestly, I think both of these cards are pretty solid. So we have Helpful Hunter, 1/1 for 2. When this creature enters, draw a card. It's basically like a Spirited Companion, except it's a cat, and it's not an enchantment. But I do think this card's pretty good. Also, the flavor text is awesome on that. And the other thing I noticed too with this is it does say by Basri Ket, so I'm wondering if we're going to get a Basri Ket Planeswalker in this set. In spoiler alert, there's a lot of cat themed cards in this set, so I'm wondering if maybe we'll get a Basri Ket that's themed with cats. Who knows? That could be pretty sweet. But anyways, the other notable new card is Vengeful Blood Witch, which this card is very good. 2 mana, 1/1. When this creature or another creature you control dies, target opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life, which is really good, once again, for the Aristocrat style decks in Pioneer, because we already have a Zulaport Cutthroat. I know that's the main one, and then we also have Cruel Celebrant. It's the white-black one, so now technically we have another option for this, maybe even to just go mono black, or maybe not even play the white just in general. Maybe we just play Golgari. I don't know, but Vengeful Blood Witch is very, very good. It's going to see play in Pioneer, and it's also a vampire, which is a somewhat relevant creature type, and a warlock, so it also fits with all of the different outlaw cards. So, but definitely both of these new cards are very, very spicy. So next couple slides here are going to be the cards that were somewhat recently in standard but are finally returning and are going to be in standard for a long time. So there's only 2 of them that I picked just because a lot of them were just kind of some draft chaff commons. So the first one is Leonin Vanguard. It was originally in standard in M19 and it is finally returning. So the other thing is with a lot of these cards is I don't know how good they're going to be in standard this time around. So Leonin Vanguard was very, very good. I believe it actually won a Pro Tour if I'm not mistaken. I think it was like Guilds of Ravnica in like the mono white aggro, but it was like splashing red deck. And this card was very good because it worked with Ajani's Pridemate. So this card could be pretty solid. I don't know if white aggro decks are good. I think this card will see play. If white aggro decks are bad, then this card won't see any play. But you want to know what? It'll be in standard for 5 years, so it's definitely going to have at least some opportunity to be good in standard again. So we'll kind of see what happens. But once again, another relevant cat that is, it was already in Pioneer, obviously, but is entering standard. So we'll kind of see what happens with that. The other card I wanted to talk about, which was actually in standard at the same time of it, is Moment of Craving. It was a very, very good removal spell. Saw mainboard and sideboard play. It's just a really good card, especially against the low to the ground red aggro decks. This card was fantastic, like take out your opponent's like G2 Lava Runner and then also gain 2 life was also really solid, and I expect it to be somewhat similar going forward. So when it was also in standard, there were like I know Go for the Throat is like the premium 2 mana removal spell right now. I know at the time there was like cast down, which is destroy a non-legendary creature, but it saw play in conjunction with that. So I think it just depends on what the metagame looks like, but I still do think Moment of Craving is going to see play in standard. I think it's just a really solid removal spell in general. So okay, so those are the like already existing in Pioneer reprints. Let's go ahead and talk about the brand new cards for Pioneer and standard. So those, well, actually, here's the first one. I forgot. It's a 1, and then we got a couple on the next side. Okay, so Crossway Troublemakers was originally in Commander. It was in the Innistrad Crimson Vow Commander deck, and it's coming to Pioneer and Standard. So 5/5 for 6, attacking vampires you control of Death Touch and Lifelink. Whenever a vampire you control dies, you may not gain 2 life. You may pay 2 life if you do draw a card. So first thing I think of with this is Sorin. Is this good enough to put into play with Sorin? So The short answer is I don't know. Obviously, I think this is better than Champion of Dusk. It's definitely not as good as Vein Ripper, but I still do think this is pretty solid. Like, having an additional option to put into play with Soren is probably good enough, and it gives your attacking vampires Death Touch and Lifelink. I don't know. I think this is probably good enough. Are they going to play like a full 4 copies? Definitely not. But is this maybe like Vein Ripper number 5, maybe? There's a decent chance of that. I could definitely see that happening. So I guess let me know in the comment section below, what do you think about this card? I think it's going to see play in Pioneer, but we'll kind of see what happens. But regardless, very, very happy to see a very cool reprint entering Pioneer and Standard. So, next couple cards we got to talk about here. I'm very excited about these. So we have Leonin Sky Hunter, which hasn't been in Standard in like 100 years, it seemed like. I think the last time it was like Mirrodin or like a random like 10th edition core set or something. 2/2 for 2 flyer, Cat Knight, very cool. Once again, I think Cats is going to be an archetype in this set. We also have Jazal Goldmane. It was in like a core set. I want to say it might have even been M14. I can't remember with Jazal Goldmane. I think it might have even been M13, but still very, very cool to see Jazal Goldmane returning. And then my personal favorite card that was spoiled in the set, Savannah Alliance. I am so excited for Savannah Alliance to finally return. I think it's going to be fantastic. Well, fantastic as in like fantastic for my mental health, not so much that it's actually going to be like super duper good or anything like that. I think there's only one deck that actually could play Savannah Lions, and we'll talk about that in a moment. The other thing I want to talk about with, oh, by the way, I also in real time was looking it up here just to be sure. Jazal Goldmane was not in a core set. I was thinking of a different card. So this is the first time it's entering Standard in Pioneer, and technically Modern, it looks like. I also wanted to mention that. But so with Savannah Lions, so originally when I was making this video, I was making this the night prior to me recording this, and this is before all these cards got spoiled from like that theme booster or whatever. So originally, the only like the whole making of this video was because Blake Rasmussen had hinted at Savannah Alliance coming to Arena, so therefore, you know, you put 2 and 2 together, it was pretty much confirmed that Savannah Alliance was going to be in Magic Foundations. So that was the original video, it was all about Savannah Alliance, but then they dropped a whole bunch of different cards on it, so I kind of had to remake the video a little bit, but still wanted to talk about Savannah Alliance, because I think Savannah Alliance is maybe Leonin Sky Hunter, but I think Savannah Alliance is really the only card of these 3 that I think is going to even see some play in the format. I think it's really the only one. So with Savannah Alliance, the deck I want to talk about unexpectedly is Pioneer Cats. So obviously, they make a bunch of 2/1s for 1 with all these different relevant, keywords and things like that now. But Cats, this is their first 2-powered 1-mana cat that is entering the format. So like Sacred Cat was kind of like the default, like best 1-drop cat for the most part. They also did play Leonin Vanguard, but they were never naturally 2-power. In this case, Sacred Cat was never a 2-power cat, and I think it could be pretty solid in cats. Curving Savannah Lions into Fleecemane Lion into like a lord like Kahira or Feline Sovereign, I think could be pretty solid. So I'm very excited about Savannah Lions specifically. I think it's going to be sweet. I'm definitely going to be playing cats here on the channel for sure. I mean, it's just really sweet. I'm definitely very excited about it. It was funny though, also in my, actually, I'll talk about the next thing I was going to say in the wrap up here. So that's pretty much all the cards I wanted to talk about though. The wrap up though is I talked about a whole bunch of different cards that I was hoping to see return in Magic Foundations. I actually was hoping for Loam Lion specifically, a little bit more than Savannah Lions, just because, technically Loam Lion I would say is better than Savannah Lions, but I'm still very, very excited that Savannah Lions is finally returning to Standard after like 20 years, which is pretty cool. So I'm definitely interested to see what other spicy reprints are going to be featured in this set. Based on the cards that were revealed today, it looks like this set, at least for what we've seen so far, there's going to be a lot of reprints, which I'm very excited about. Although I really do like new cards, I'm also very excited for reprints that are not in Standard or Pioneer that are going to enter the format. I've always been really excited about reprints. And it looks like this set's going to have a ton of them. Again, we'll see what happens. This set, they did talk about they're going to reveal more. I think it was MagicCon Vegas is when they talk about when they're really gonna start revealing cards. So we'll kind of see what happens, but let me know in the comment section below, what do you think about the cards that were spoiled, and maybe even your favorite one. Just let me know what you think. And that pretty much takes us to the end of the video here. So thanks so much for watching. Huge shout out to our channel members Ralph, Matt, Arcadius, Ray, Gary, and Sarwanoki. If you're interested in being a channel member, it's only $1 a month. You get access to the exclusive Discord as well as other features here on the channel. And definitely when more Magic Foundation spoilers come out, we are definitely going to be talking about them here on the channel. And there should be a video on screen there if you want to check out my other video talking about the cards I hope return in Magic Foundations 2 Pioneer/Standard. So I'm Commander Crane. Thanks for watching this video, and I hope to catch you in the next one.